We
have made incremental gains in September 2023. We have taken steps to keep government expenditure under control. Previously, state income was as low as 8% of the gross domestic product. That was nowhere near sufficient to manage the government's expenditure, which stood at over 20% of the GDP. In light of those conditions, we saw no alternative other than to increase state income. To meet that end, we have instilled fiscal discipline in the country by implementing a series of reforms. The other major reform that was needed urgently was debt restructuring. It was also a key requirement needed to secure the International Monetary Fund agreement in September 2022. During December 2022, the country's total debt stood at over 128% of the GDP. During December 2022, the country's total debt stood at over 128% of GDP. To address that issue, we launched a debt restructuring program comprising three basic categories. The first of those categories was the restructuring of local debt, which we completed in 2023. The second category was the restructuring of the debt obtained by foreign countries. By November 2023, we were able to reach agreements in principle with those countries. These countries include both members of the Paris Club as well as China, a non-Paris Club member. The next step in the process is to sign memoranda of understanding with those creditor nations. To prepare the drafts required for that purpose, the government has entered into discussions with the country's official creditors committee. Discussions are also being held between the government and China's Exim Bank. The third category is the restructuring of commercial debt. Clifford & Chance and Lazard have been providing legal and financial advice for Sri Lanka during these discussions. So far, discussions have yielded positive results. Our hope is to conclude these discussions by mid-2024. The ultimate goal of the debt restructuring process is to reduce the country's debt down to 95% of GDP by 2032, maintain the country's gross financial requirement at 13% annually, and ensure foreign debt servicing remains below 4.5% annually. All of us must work towards these goals. This is the only path to achieve debt sustainability. The country's economy cannot achieve long-term growth without debt sustainability. However, considering this year's economic growth as well as the growth trajectory of the state revenue, an increase in state sector salaries can only be contemplated in 2025.